everybody. This is Joe Sonona with Sonona Speaks Seminars, and this is Coffee Talk with the listing pros in real estate. And my guest this week is Eric Chapman and Michael Cooley of the Cooley Chapman team, and they are in Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having us, Joe. It's an honor to finally be on one of your coffee talks.
I'm excited.
Well, you know what? I've been watching you guys on Instagram, really killing it. Your posts, your stories, and your most importantly, your listings. And I said, you know what? I need to have another team here on Coffee Talk soon. And I picked you guys as well. So welcome. So I'll get right into the questions. What is your secret sauce to listing your homes? Because wherever I see Chapman, I see Cooley. Wherever I see Cooley, I see Chapman. And it's like a great combination. You're a great team. And I just wanted to compliment you on your success so far.
Do you want to take that one or you want me to go with it?
What's your secret sauce to listing?
You go.
Well, I mean, a lot of people focus on one specific thing. I see people say, oh, I focus purely on referrals. I focus purely on for sale by owners. Not us. We sort of go with whatever we're feeling that day. We always make sure we're doing our prospecting. But I mean, if we feel like calling for sale by owners that day, that's what we're going to do. We came to EXP through Ricky Caruth and the Diamond Group. So obviously we're big in circle prospecting as well. So if we feel like calling a neighborhood that day, that's what we're going to do. But we're always prospecting and, staying consistent on prospecting and setting those appointments that's how we list houses. It's just a numbers game for us pretty much.
Yeah. So you would say the secret sauce is to prospect your clientele, your spheres of influence. Is that it?
Consistently. Absolutely.
Consistently.
Yeah.
How many calls a day do you make?
We try and at least knock, what'd you say,
between the two of us. Yeah, between the two of us last week, this is the pre-average week, we did 1,500.
So
what?
And a lot of it depends on the type of calls. Like for sale by owners, we're going to get a higher pickup rate. So
yeah,
that's obviously
if we break into a neighborhood with a triple dialer, it doesn't take too much to dial through that entire neighborhood. So
all right, so we're going to talk about triple dialers and what that means because this is a teaching show and we teach agents on how to list properties and what to say and what to do. So talk about the triple dialer. What is all that?
So we use RedX. RedX is a software that not only pulls different lead sources like expireds for sale by owners, it'll pull the information on those lead sources. Like it'll just line up addresses for you. Say you want to call for sale by owners that day, it'll pull all the for sale by owners in a certain area that you want to pull. And it also offers a dialer, which dials the number for you. You just click go, and all of a sudden, there's no thinking, there's no dialing a phone. It's automatically dialing the numbers for you. And you can use 2 dialers. It goes all the way up to 3 dialers, where it'll call 3 addresses at once. So when we're circle prospecting and we want to put up big numbers that day on the phone, we're going to go 3 dialers. We'll dial 3 numbers at once. And honestly, we're averaging about 130 dials an hour.
Wow.
With that dialer.
Yeah, and I'd say the triple dialer was definitely the game changer. Yeah. Because single dialing, you kind of get in your head, like, because you just kind of see it like ticking and ticking and ticking and waiting for someone to pick up. But triple dialing, someone's picking up all the time.
You're constantly having conversations. There's no thinking.
Now, when somebody does pick up and you're on the other line talking to somebody, is that being that there's 2 of you, so you have a triple dial. So the third line, when somebody picks up, what happens if you're both on the phone?
It'll automatically send him a voicemail. So we both have triple dialers. So he has one, I have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it'll automatically say I'm on the phone with someone answers, and then someone actually answers like the same time. It'll pick one, I'll talk to one, and it'll send a pre-recorded voicemail to the other. So it's super efficient. So if someone actually is interested, I'll have a voicemail. Hey, Michael Cooley with eXp Realty. I'll just give them a spill, and if they're interested, they'll call back. Or if they're mad, they'll call back too. So,
do you get a lot of mad people?
Not really.
Not really. Not as many as people think.
Yeah,
you're all very friendly down south. In New York, they just go scratch or a lot of super added adjectives, right?
Melting pot because we got the tech industry, so. We'll get some people from, we'll get a Brooklyn attitude down here every now and again.
Yeah. I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm just joking.
So you get that, you really get that attitude from Brooklyn down there.
No, I was just joking.
Oh, you were because of I got it. I
People
got
do
it.
pop up and they'll get mad at you, but you just got to move on.
Yeah, it's just part of it. They'll forget you a minute later, so it's
Well,
all good.
see, a lot of agents, a lot of new agents, especially, they get very turned off, and this is why the failure rate is so high in real estate, because a lot of agents come into this business with high expectations about the business, and then when they get rejected, they cry in their cornflakes, I should say, and then they can't handle that, and by month 3, month 6, maybe they start to feel like everything has gone wrong, and then they decide this is not for them. What advice do you think that new agent should have going into real estate?
Okay, so I'm a newer agent, so I started, I guess, about a year ago, almost a year ago today.
Yeah, just
Has it been a year, Eric?
It's been
I think
close to a year.
this time
Wow.
he was probably going through his pre-license
Yeah.
course.
So I would say what helped me with that, because I kind of went through that at first, was because I was focused on the one person I had, like the one prospect I had, the one deal that might happen. But once I was able to have, 10 possibilities that could happen, or if I have 5 deals going on, and one falls through, it's not breaking my heart, because they're still going to use me. Like, I'm still working with them. That just gets pushed out to later, but I still have
Right.
one to focus on. So I think that's what affected me the most, was because I was focusing on the only deal I had. And so when it fell through, I'm like, how am I getting paid?
Something I wish I knew as a new agent is find the strategy that works best for you, and then put up whatever prospecting strategy that is, whether it's sphere, door knocking, whatever. Find that what you're comfortable, social media. Find what you're comfortable with, and put up huge numbers as far as prospecting. So, like he said, if you have 10 things going at once, it hurts a little bit less when one deal falls through. But if you have one deal and that one deal falls through, I could see why people would want to get out of the business pretty quick.
Yeah, and that's what I see across the board. It's not just something that happens here in New York, but I see it in your state. I see it all over the country as a national speaker and trainer. And I look at that and I go, wow, is there some piece of advice, some golden nugget out there that could keep agents in the business and offer them some sort of helping tool to persevere in our industry, in our profession, because this is a very hard profession for a lot of people. And I just wish more and more real estate schools across the country would have some sort of a career night that gives them perspective into the real estate business, some insight, where teachers or instructors like myself could go in and give them, this is a hard business for a lot of people. And, everybody talks about $1 million listing and $1 million beach house and all this other fantasy television, as I call it. And we both know, or all of us know on this program, that it doesn't take an hour to sell somebody something. What's your return? Your return of your ROI, if you will, of showings, and what is usually get a good turnaround time for somebody to buy?
Just on listings, or like showing buyers?
When you list a home, how fast does that turn around and sell?
So I guess this summer it was really quick. I mean, stuff was turning really fast. I feel like stuff's been sitting a little bit
So
longer
we
lately.
weathered. I honestly expected the coronavirus to have some kind of effect on our market, especially early on in the summer. I was a little worried, but we didn't see that. We had listings that were selling, 1-2 days. Thankfully, we're in a really hot area. We have military and tech bases down here, so people are constantly moving in, and not a lot of people are moving out. So we have like no inventory at all. So if you land a listing down here, it's probably going to sell. If it's priced correctly, it's going to sell.
Well, and I'll say that's one thing, we started doing, is we started becoming very aggressive in our pricing. So originally, we would have thought it'd be around maybe a 210. Maybe we want to be more aggressive and go for that 220, 225. And, we just set the expectation that it's not going to sell in 2 days, maybe, but it will sell. It'll sell in,
Did
maybe.
you get multiple bids?
On a few of them.
Yeah.
On a few of them.
Multiple offer situations are pretty common down here. Yeah. Like, especially in a hot price point. Like down here, the average price point in our market's $230,000. It's probably a lot different from what your average price point is.
Well, depending on what we do here, I mean, what we both have in common, all of us have in common here. I keep saying both because I look at both of you, but we all have in common here as listing agents is that if a house isn't priced well, it doesn't sell, right? So that's become my mantra this year and the previous year. If you price your house well, it will sell. And a lot of sellers are looking at the general market, the overall national market, where agents are out there putting a little bit of a distortion by calling the market hot, by saying this is a hot market. And just the words hot to me says that I can get my price in real estate if I'm an owner.
Right.
So I always tell agents, don't put out that those words "hot market" on social media, and with the flames and the fire. You think everybody was going to damn hell and everything with how they were talking, So I always say, listen, if you're going to put out, the market is moving, the market is very active. Like you just said, that we didn't have many multiple offers, but I can tell you that if I price a home here in New York, and it's priced well, I will have multiple bids easily. And this happens constantly in our market.
Well, I mean, and we're guilty as anybody, especially with for sale by owners that we're prospecting. We will list that house, at the very top of the market. And we've had houses that have sat over a month because they weren't priced, where they needed to be priced, but what we had to do to get the listing. But they weren't priced at a price that would have sold in a day. So
I love when the seller says, Joe, I'm not giving it away. And I always say, you can't give this away, even if it was free, because, there's a lot of preparation. They don't realize, sellers, that there's a lot of preparation in getting this on the market. It's not just slapping a sign on the lawn and passively selling it through a multiple listing service. Today's real estate agent, today's real estate listing agent has to go a step further in preparation. I'm sure you guys do the same thing as far as, staging, pricing it to sell, making sure that the home is perfectly, clean, and the homeowner's not there, putting the homeowner in jeopardy of saying or doing the wrong thing. We do a lot of this stuff, don't we, as listing agents? Tell me, what marketing techniques do you use in your preparation for listings?
So we'll do a lot of video. We'll at least do a video walkthrough. We big social media push. What is it? 9 out of 10 home searches start online.
Yeah.
So we do a big social media push. We send out weekly emails to our database. There's a featured area in our weekly email that shows, the house, a bunch of pictures, the write-up, a link to our website to go look at.
And we've had a ton of success. EXP provides us with that EXP boost on I believe KV Core, that'll boost it online throughout the country. It's a national ad, and we have a ton of success with our area being a big area for people to move into for the tech and Army. A ton of success marketing our.
You have military. You have a lot of military in Huntsville there.
Yeah. We have Redstone. We have one of the biggest bases in the country down here. We have Redstone Arsenal, so we have a ton. FBI's down here, NASA, ton of stuff.
Do you have any NAR designations or certifications in military relocation professional? Do you have that?
I'm in a class right now to get my MRP. Yeah, so
good.
As we speak.
Yeah, very good. I can't use something like that because I'm in Long Beach, New York. We have very few veterans, very few military here. But out in Suffolk County, Long Island, there's a lot of military that relocate there. But you being in the base, you have the best first-time home buyer opportunities and advantages, right? Have you sold to a lot of military?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're constantly moving down here, and they're typically we find they're the best to work with because this usually is not their first home they bought. This is usually their third or fourth home they bought in the last 5, 6, 7 years because they're constantly moving. So they know what they want. They know the process for the most part. We'll guide them as far as Alabama's rules and regulations and laws, but they know exactly what they want. They're usually the best clients you can work with down here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And as I thank the military for their service, we have to thank you guys for your service to them, because without you, they couldn't find a home. Think about it that way. So you're affording them the American dream times 2.
That is true. Yeah, I have not thought about it like that. Yeah,
I have.
Not them, but I don't think about us.
No, I know, and sometimes, you know, I'm the same way. I'm not on the receiving end of a compliment. I give compliments. So I just want to compliment the two of you because you're one of my favorite teams in the Diamond Group for Ricky Carruth's Diamond Group, and I wanted you on the show, but I said, you know what, I'll give them a little bit. I waited a little bit. I wanted to give you a little bit of leeway to build up your business first. And my has it been a journey for you both. And you know, I know that you can give now the advice to a new agent, but what advice would you give now that you're in the throes of the business? What advice would you give for someone like me who's been in the business 31 years? It'll be September 13th as this program already has aired. My anniversary will be already starting its 32nd year. So I'm 32 years in.
That's a big deal. I'm going on 2
years. Less
on
hair. I'm charged, baby.
Advice, I would say this just goes for anyone. Just be flexible. You know, you kind of have to, social media wasn't a thing, 10 years ago?
Yeah. You have to be able to roll with the punches of time.
That wasn't a thing 30 years ago.
Yeah. So, you're just thinking about
Wait a minute. I'm 51. How old are you guys?
I'm 26. 26. I was 26.
You weren't even born when I was in the business.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can add on to that. I think just continuing to learn, because like he said, the times are going to keep changing. I think real estate's going to continually go to a more technology-based fashion style, marketing and stuff like that. Even buying houses, I believe, are eventually going to go to a more technology-based kind of style. But continuing to learn, move with the times. And I think even older agents, because we've had older agents contact us since we moved over to the Diamond Group, because a lot of people know Ricky. And when we moved over and started marketing under the Diamond Group, they were asking us for advice. And I would just say, similar to a new agent, find that right style that fits your business, whatever it is, marketing, prospecting, whatever, and just roll with it. I mean, because it's never too late to sort of reinvent yourself in this business. I don't think people do it all the time.
That's what I've done in the last 5 years alone, and it feels great because you're not doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of older agents do. They because they become complacent, and not complacent in a bad way, but complacent in a good way. They know their business, they know what to do. They have this awesome black book of business that constantly gives them referral after referral.
Yeah.
But if like a person like myself who took the SRES course for NAR, senior real estate specialist, 3/4 of my business used to be strictly senior citizens. Really? And then you know what happened one year? 11 of them died, passed away, God rest their souls. But I didn't have relationships with their families.
Right.
So I have now to reinvent myself and have relationships with the families. I'm serving up a third generation of people already.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like. Like I said, we came over, like you said too, we came over with Ricky Carruth in the Diamond Group. And what we love, we based our marketing, our business strategy off of, Zero to Diamond, which is relationships over transactions. So we built our business based off of relationships. And obviously, we've been together full time as a team for just about a year almost. And obviously those haven't really turned over yet, but we fully plan on, we've kept the relationships up, and every transaction we do our best to build a relationship and treat them like their family. So we fully plan on that continuing. As Ricky says, every deal you do is, probably worth 10 deals down the road. So just building those relationships and being a resource to our clients is what we're.
Do you put out a newsletter weekly?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do. You do.
We do.
Weekly.
Don't forget to add me on your newsletter. I steal content
Okay.
from you guys. No, it's just something. You can steal my content. It's all about Brooklyn. So, maybe teach the softies of Alabama how to be a Brooklyn boy.
Yeah.
No, I admire both of you, and because I know you're part of a group, of the Diamond Group, but you've sort of individualized yourselves. You've done a lot of good branding. I love your brand, by the way, the C and the C. Yeah, it's great. It's almost like if anybody, when this program airs, you have to post your business card on Facebook when the program. But I love the C and the C. It almost looks like a key.
Yeah.
So
somebody's house, right?
We had a vision in mind, and we wanted to not be like a traditional real estate logo where you have like a house or a key in there somewhere. We wanted like a more lifestyle brand real estate logo. So that's sort of how we did it. And we love it.
I just did mine. I hired a virtual agent to redo mine because I'm by the beach, and I always like the ship's wheel, the helm.
Oh, yeah.
So that's become my logo now.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I have a tagline: "Let us steer you to sold."
Oh, I love that.
Which used to be my tagline when I owned a business, and I brought it back. So an oldie but a goodie. And I love, here's the ironic part. I love everything nautical. I love boats. I love ships' helms, anything, with lanterns, and I can't swim.
Can't swim. Hey.
That's one of the secrets nobody knows about me. Is now they're gonna know that I really I can. Well, before my wife kills me on this program, I do swim, right? I do swim, but I have to find the bottom of whatever I'm swimming in because otherwise I'll drown. That's so. Is that I can't swim or I can't tread water?
I think it's more of a mental thing because you can.
Oh, totally.
You can swim. You just can't swim if you can't touch the bottom.
That's right. There you go. Like in a pool, like in a 5-foot pool, I'll be okay. I don't go out very long, out into the ocean, because first of all, the Jaws is going to kill me. But at the same time, I won't go out that far. And a lot of people don't know that about me. So that's pretty cool.
If I'm at the beach, I'm staying on the beach too.
Yeah, I stay on the beach.
I know you guys go on and by the way, Alabama in general has the same sand as Long Beach, New York, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and very similarities to it's almost like powdery white sugar.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it.
You're on the Atlantic, right? Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct. And I saw the sand in Ricky's photos recently. One of our other colleagues in the business, John Hamrick, was on the beach, and you were on the beach, Michael. I saw your sand. I said, "Wow, it's similar to Long Beach." So you guys have to come out here and be my guests.
Absolutely.
I've never been to New York.
I haven't either. So
it's on my bucket. Well, you got a gun? No, I'm only kidding.
We're in Alabama, Joe.
Yeah, we're Alabama agents.
Of course you got a gun. I don't have a gun. and I'm in New York. So let's get back to listing. We have fiduciary responsibilities in our business, which is the foundation of our profession. And I always revert back to old CAR: obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, reasonable care. And I know they're all important to us as agents, but in listing a home, what is your most favorite out of all of those and why?
Me go. I like a couple of those. I like disclosure because
one only. Pick one.
Loyalty. And I'll say loyalty, but I'll put it more towards the terms of I just sort of go by the golden rule. I picture myself, what would I want if I were buying a house and I had no clue what was going on? What would I want? Or I treat it like it's my own house. I'm representing myself purchasing this house. How well would I want to treat myself or this client? I just make sure that I would do what I would want done to myself because in this business, honestly, it is easy if you wanted to walk that gray line and sort of look out for yourself, close the deal at all means. You could, but that's not a good long-term strategy, how we're doing relationships over transactions.
Well, and I'll say to bounce off that, we deal with a good bit of out-of-state clients, who buy things sight unseen. I was dealing with one this morning. And so just setting the expectation, of what he's going to expect when he gets here, the condition of the house. Obviously, we do everything we can as far as, additional pictures, additional videos, the property inspection and all of that. But I just want him to, when he gets here, it's exactly what he expected, if not better.
Right.
Because the last thing you want is someone to have bought a house and then move across the country and be disappointed.
Yeah,
because they are contacting you when they are disappointed.
Yeah.
And that's
especially sight unseen, all of their trust is in you.
Yeah. And it's just, in the end, it's just not worth it because that's a bad relationship. And if you did something intentional to mislead them.
Because especially those instances, it would be real easy for us to not take a picture or not tell them about, the landscaping that looks awful. That's going to cost them $2,000-$3,000 when they get here to make it look better. Or, the walls that have holes in them all over the place. We could easily skip over the pictures of those. But I would want to be treated. I want to treat them how I'd want myself treated if I were moving to a new place and wasn't able to go see the house like that. And I would treat clients that are physically in here. I've recently, just yesterday, we had a deal fall through because we went over an inspection with somebody and he realized that he made the decision that it just wasn't for him. We probably could have talked him into keeping the house, but that's not ultimately what he wanted. So,
yeah, I talked to him again this morning. I just straight up asked him. I said, "Is this the house you want?" And he was just kind of iffy on it. He said he just wasn't sure at this point. So that's a problem for later today. But
no, well, listen, you guys are first of all and foremost, I've said you guys are a great team. And you have a great philosophy. You also give back to your communities. I've watched your social media feeds and into your churches and your youth organizations. I've seen it. When you don't think anybody's watching you on social media, there's always somebody that's watching, and someone who's here to acknowledge and validate the good things that your team is doing for your area of Huntsville. So I commend you. And I want to thank you for being on my show. And if there's any last minute comments or any thoughts going out before we end this program.
To finally get on Coffee Talk.
I know. I've been watching them.
I watch them every week.
Are you tuning in every week?
I watch them, Joe.
I'm ready.
That's awesome. We've had some real characters and some good people on the show. And I think we're in our almost 64. I think you're the 64th episode. So I can't wait to do a Coffee Talk reunion with you. I'm going to start that after probably 100.
All right. Yeah. Here's the 64 more.
Yeah.
Here's the 64 more. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on Coffee Talk. This is Joe Sonona, and this has been an excellent interview with the Cooley Chapman team of Huntsville, Alabama. This is actually the second duo that I've had on the show. And you just wait and see. The Cooley Chapman team has something big and better and bigger and better to offer you in the future coming up. So this is a team to be reckoned with for sure. This is Coffee Talk with the Listing Pros. I'm Joe Sonona, and thank you for watching. Take care.